It's October 1st, 2025. Yesterday on September 30th, Walmart 62. Some of the investigators were laughing about what happened at 1 o'clock in the morning outside my work. A lot of them were talking about it. And it is very usable. Apparently, the guy's running this big Purdue, showed up at some kind of bar and told everyone to leave me alone and never to say a word to me again. They found out this whole thing was Michelle's family's drug debt to the drug cartel. Mm. 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm sound asleep. I hear motorcycles, engines revving. Startled me, woke up, and some guy is yelling at Michelle. Now, if you yell or raise your voice to Michelle, she will sing like a canary. Back in 23, I'm out in North Canton. Some girl yells out. Now, I was getting stuff out of my vehicle. Said no one would show up to harass her today. Well, I was wondering, I'm driving out there. I thought, where's my harassers? And said that you framed her before. Is that true? Did you frame her before? Yes, we framed her before. But if you don't tell anybody, I'll give you money. All you have to do is raise your voice, and that girl sings like a canary. She's the one that on March 27th, 25, told an agent, which I found out it's Officer John, was supposed to be dating her on a Rouge. He's not an agent. He's not an officer. He's an agent. His name's not John. He's an undercover agent. Got her to confess that the scam of the dirty doctor tape you unaware before confessing her crime. Sat on it till Dave wanted a divorce. That's so ridiculous. Got her to confess that doctor from before was never one of hers. He works for them and they had lied, and she doesn't know who he is. And that when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent, and it didn't work. And he broke up with her. He had also got it out of Dave that a girlfriend from before me made him marry me so he could get a job at my dad's factory. And so she'd have the free insurance. The woman using my insurance was another girlfriend. He could give her extra money. And then he had got it out of Vegas. Why would you say it offended you? It's 6 months later. Someone just calling her a faker, and she had nothing to do with that traffic accident. Said it didn't even concern them. They just lied. That offended them. So people would help out. Okay. Well, yesterday on September 30th, 2025, 1 o'clock in the morning, apparently the guy's running it. She's been showing up at bars, telling people never to say a word to me again. That they found out this whole thing is Michelle's family's drug debt to the drug cartel. Okay? 1 o'clock in the morning, I hear motorcycles revving their engines. It startled me. And some guy yelled, "Does she even know who you are? Do you want me to go knock on the door and ask her if she knows who you are?" She's like, "No, I don't want her to know who I am."
She don't even know you, and you had her skull bashed in, and then you had her tortured because of your family's debt to those drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. He just yelled at her, and she brought her down to around legal police surveillance, and yes, it is legal, and it can be used. He didn't give her answers. He just yelled at her, goaded her into an argument, and she confessed. He said, I listened to her and Matt's conversation on January 13th. It was January 13th, 23. That Ohio drug dealers were threatening that agent's life because they thought he let all this happen and he let people get human trafficked. And here it was your family and you're drugged up having people human trafficked to pay it off? Yes, I'm sorry. People were sold for sex slaves and to be murdered for her family's debt to the drug cartel. Yes, it can be used. I even listened to September of 23 when the cartel announced that everything was photoshopped on her before. I know, I'm sorry. And her ex-husband had confessed to the cartel that it was a medication error that made her sick before and encouraged them to sue those doctors for years. Did you know they were supposed to sue those doctors? Did you know it was wrote up as fraud and da-da-da-da-da? Yes, I'm sorry. Like I said, I think Michelle's family picked Dave out. See, they called Dave dumb as a box of rocks. And they call him Rocky at work. When I called Pete, I said, why do they call him Rocky at work? He's talking about being called Rocky. He's dumb as a box of rocks. I said, what do you mean? Karen, he doesn't have common sense. He doesn't have common sense to stay out of stuff. That he won't get in trouble. He'll go along with stuff that'll get him in a lot of trouble for people's attention. He doesn't have enough common sense to stay out of stuff. So they call him dumb as a box of rocks. They just call him Rocky. See, you got to think. She's 18 at the time. She looked barely 18. When I seen her in January or February 19th, still never talked to her in person. He's 60. There's no future there. Why would you want him? And a man trying to kill his wife. Why would you want him? Why would you want him? Because you need a sucker. One that'll go along with stuff for people's attention. And would even, with no integrity, that would let his wife be raped by other men and drugged and framed and photoshopped for other people's attention. He needed somebody with no integrity that feeds off people's intentions. They need someone like Dave. stupid with no common sense. I have a feeling they picked him up to pay off their drug debt. See, January 13th, 23, I met Maddie out in Worcester. He said, I work in a factory, race horses professionally. He said, on the racetrack, I know somebody who knows somebody who deals drugs. I went to him, asked him if they knew about what was going on with you. He's 2.5 hours away. So, yeah, all the Ohio drug dealers, no, you didn't know. The agent over your case was in debt to those drug dealers. That's why all this happened. And they were so mad at that agent. They were threatening his life for letting all those people be human trafficked for a drug debt. I said, whoa, I don't believe in violence, but if he actually did it because of that, he needs to be arrested. But I don't believe in violence. He said it again, and he said, it's not me, it's Sam. I'm just repeating it. And I said again, I don't believe in violence. But if he actually did this for a drug debt, then he needs to be arrested. He said, it's not me, I was just telling you what they said. Okay? Then if you take December 18th, 24, Walmart 62. Two guys walk in, Karen didn't know who Michelle was until January, February 19th. No, I made sure of it. Well, those people said she threatened her, and if she threatened her, I didn't care what they did to her. And she didn't even know who she was. No, I made sure of it. He said, I told the drug dealer, these people are in with drug dealers, told the drug dealer that Ben, after everything that he had done to her, nobody had ever want her again. I told him to leave her alone. Heard she's getting remarried. I knew she had it in her. Then if you take January 5th, 25, Walmart 62. Walmart keeps their tapes for years. Investigators come in. What is this? Another FBI agent lied to a U.S. Marshal she was weird with herself. We always knew it was photoshopped to washing herself. And they drugged her and told her to say it before. We always knew that. And we have the agent over her case, taped admitting he let all this happen because he thought she threatened his daughter. To find out, she didn't even know who she was. Was FBI getting even with her? Do they realize how not funny this is? Then what is it? January 30th or 31st of 25? I was down in Carrollton, in Virginia's restaurant, some idiot said something. Okay? A bunch of them walk out. So I start going on how it was a medication error that made me sick before medical malpractice and fraud. And it's wrote up as fraud. They encouraged Dave and I to sue them for years. They would go to court with us. They almost killed me. After my muscles locked up from a bunch of surgeries, went to a bunch of crackpots, made my whole body swell up. Thyroid, adrenal gland shut down. I was having heart attack, seizures, and they're lying so bad. They said I had level 2 brain tumors. Wanted to remove part of my brain. And before I let that happen, I went to my regular doctor, and they're like, whoa. They're known for lying, falsely diagnosing people, ripping them off, making them sick. Draining their insurance company like checking accounts. Getting kickbacks from the drug companies. Sharing with associates and friends doing the same thing. Get an attorney and sue them to remove the state to pull their license. They've almost killed you for years. They offered to go to court and represent me. They defrauded you and almost killed you. There's nothing wrong with you but your muscles locked up. And it's wrote up as fraud. Medical malpractice and medication errors. The only thing that was wrong with me is my muscles locked up. And they caused everything else.
See what I mean? It's wrote up as fraud. And then where it took me 9 months to get well. See, that's where I started with Dr. Eli on fentanyl patches. Get out enough pain to move. That's how he put it. October, November 2002. By April, I'm almost well. May 3rd, 2003. I had nothing to do with that traffic accident. We were all at home. Brian had to come tell us. Where a church baseball game, a bunch of people were late. Phil was one of the lead cars. Was speeding. Flew through a stop sign into a semi. Killed him and Tyler both. I wasn't even there. Finished getting well in July. And in November 2003, my sister Linda's married to Strange's kid, Tim. She caught him out with Katie one day. And she started following him when he left. And they were cheating. And she got caught following him. And he thought it was me. Here's Linda following her husband. Well, he made up that big lie in November 2003, 6 months later. It had nothing to do with them. And he pushed Danny to suicide. Make sure I won't come back. See where the Vegas told Officer John, why would you tell people? It offended you. He said it didn't even concern him. It's 6 months later. Somebody calls me a faker. Did it have anything to do with her father speeding, running a stop sign into a semi 6 months before that? No. Nothing. Didn't even concern them. They just lied so people would help out. And it's such a baby lie, it's stupid. Then you got to think the whole scenario, then wait 15 years to kill me. That's where September 18th, 24. Outside my clients in Akron. The agent needs to get his facts straight before he puts his name on anything. Was it medication error that made her sick before? Why'd they wait 15 years? Found out, I went over and talked to him. He said when Strange thought she was following Tim and Katie, he ordered her to be killed. Or have her destroyed, make sure she had nothing. Nobody was to say or do a thing until Dave wanted a divorce. They planned this for 15 years before they did it. See, they already had Dave prepared. And then these people needing a sap and soccer. See, they had to find somebody stupid enough to do it. Now, January 5th, 25. Walmart 62. Investigators come in. What is this? Another FBI agent lied to the U.S. Marshal. She was weird with herself. We always knew it was photoshopped. We always knew they drugged her and told her to say it before. We have the agent over a case. Taped he let all this happen because he thought she threatened his daughter. And here she didn't even know who she was. Then go into January 30th or 31st or 25, Walmart 62, after in Carrollton when that guy was down there after those guys walked out when I was saying how it was a medication error made me sick before and fraud. And Terry Coberly seen him almost kidnap me. Well, the guy from December 18th, 24.
shows up with him at Walmart 62. He said, I already told those people. I don't think any of them are funny. She didn't even know who Michelle was till 19. And them saying she threatened her, she didn't even know who she was. He said, I found out, the other guy said, I found out it was a medication that made her sick before. He said, I really feel bad. He said, I found out Terry Copley seen him almost kidnap her. I really feel bad. He said her ex-husband called down to my office. I was tired of dealing with him. He said, I told him, tell him I wasn't there anymore. That the police said she had rights. No one could say a word to her. Where they talked about the guy in Maslin. What is his problem? Helping people get away with crimes. No one can do this. Why is he involving himself in crimes? I was talking to Josh last year. I had dated a Maslin police officer, a retired one. He's like, Maslin. He said, there was a guy in Maslin that was helping him get away with everything. Dad found out he wasn't there anymore, freaked out, and fled the country forever. Well, you put the tapes together. Guy didn't know. I didn't know who Michelle was. Well, crap, you knew I didn't know. He said it was drug dealers, December 18, 24. January 5th, 25, he's telling people he's agent over my case. January 30th, 31st of 25, Walmart 62, where Dave's dealing with his office. Put them together. The guy's in it with drug dealers. Where they said it was the agent over my case thought I threatened his daughter. It's a guy from Maslin. That's Michelle's dad. The ones that are in debt to the drug dealer. Why all this happened? April 17, 25, after Michelle had confessed to Officer John March 27, 25, about the doctor scam of the doctor from before was never one of hers, works for them, and they have lied. She actually don't know who he is. Okay? And when they crushed him, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent, and it didn't work. He broke up with her, showed up outside my work and said something. And then about everything else. Okay? April 17, 25, Sheetz gas station in Hartville. See the back of the girl they call Michelle. The long, blonde, curly hair. Okay. Walks up to the bluish gray Bronco, big government SUVs driving around the parking lot. They stop. Real loud in the parking lot. I talked to the police up there. They said, how dumb was I? Telling that guy that the doctor from before wasn't one of hers. He works for them and they had lied. And she actually don't know who he is. And when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent, and it didn't work. I really liked him. And when I told him that, he broke up with me. He's just talking about wanting to get married. Okay. April 19th, 25 in Hartville. Showed up, the investigators, how dumb these people are. Trying this and nobody fell for it anyways. Nobody ever fell for a dirty doctor scam, taping you unaware, confessing a crime, sat on it till they've won a divorce. That is so a retard. I'm sorry. There is like 30 years for that doctor in that thing.
way the laws are wrote. Doctors cannot tape you unaware, okay? Because the HIPAA and Privacy Act is 10 years. They can't be in it with Dave. HIPAA and Privacy Act, that's 10 years. And if somebody actually is getting hurt and they don't report it, and they can prove it happened, they go to jail as an accessory. Like they said that later on, those people didn't realize how illegal it made it for a doctor to do it. And then they said nobody fell for the tape of wear it with yourself. We knew it was photoshopped or washing yourself in the shower. We always knew it was photoshopped. And we always knew they drugged you and told you to say it before. And it sounded mechanical anyways. We knew it wasn't you and it was them. Well, they were playing with a voice alternator. Copying people's voices. I mean, yeah. See what I mean? But those bikers drove Michelle down where there was legal police surveillance. Yelled at her, and she sang like a canary. They didn't tell her what to say. They just yelled the questions, and she yelled back the answers. Yes, I'm sorry. She admitted to human trafficking people to pay off a drug debt. That when that biker was yelling at her, does she even know who you are? No. And you had her skull crushed in and had her tortured because your family owes that drug cartel money? Yes, I'm sorry. Then how he listened to me and Matt on January 13th, 23. They put threats on that agent's life because they thought he let people be human trafficked for a drug debt. And here it is, your family in debt to the drug cartel? Yes, I'm sorry. And you let all those people be human trafficked to pay off a debt to the drug cartel? Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, he yelled at her. And she willingly confessed. And it is very usable under legal police surveillance. You can goad somebody into an argument. Can't hurt them. But you can goad them into an argument. She didn't deny anything. All you have to do is yell at that girl, and she'll sing like a canary. It is very usable. As long as you didn't drug somebody, you're not like torturing them. You just goad them into an argument, yell at them. Oh, it's very usable. They brought her down to where there was legal police surveillance so they'd have her confession. Or some guys showed up and said they were the ones running it. And nobody's allowed to say a word to her again in her life. This whole thing was over your family's drug debt to the drug cartel. Or your debt to the drug cartel. Yes, I'm sorry. People were human trafficked because of your debt, family's debt to the drug cartel. Yes, I'm sorry. People are dead and she's sorry. She's sorry. You know, yesterday in Walmart, some of the investigators, we heard some bikers took it in their own hands, brought her down and yelled at her, and she confessed everything. All they did is yell at her and go to her in an argument. It's very legal. You can yell at somebody. People are dead because of her. Women and children got sold for sex leasing to be murdered because of her family's dead to the drug cartel. August 30th, 23, up in Fred Martin. Some guy gets on the phone. Do you want to pull over and meet her? You don't want her to know who actually did this. Did you get enough money to pay him back? If you did, tell him to leave her alone. Thousands got human trafficked, sold as sex slaves, and thousands got killed because of their debt. There was investigators in there too in Walmart 62. Do you have those tapes Karen mentioned to pull here? Yeah, I got it. We know who did it. And he was dealing with that guy's office, yes. Okay. Then, of course, there's somebody in there trying to still pull the scam. Well, I wouldn't want her to get any money if she actually hurt somebody. I never hurt anyone. That was a bitch move. And a total bitch move from my ex-husband, my ex-daughter-in-law. My son's divorcing. And Dave's girlfriend. Thinking they're funny. We're up in Akron in June, July 23. It's like a mean teenage stunt that went too far. Roofing somebody and tell them to say something horrible. And then take a video of somebody showering and washing themselves and putting that in the other room. It's like a mean teenage stunt that went too far. You were beating, raping her. You tried to kill me too. Went way too far. See, that's where January 25th, 2019, someone had told Dave, knocked on her door. The police always knew she was innocent and innocent before, and they were talking about it at the station. Some guy was mailing this guy out from a team. Now, the police always knew it was innocent. For we always knew the tapes before were them and not you, so we never said a word. Right after Thanksgiving of 18, where Melissa's kids did the mean games of pretend for Michelle to get the house, for Papa and Michelle to get the house. The FBI had caught Melissa telling the kids a lie, the kids stating they wanted the house for Auntie Michelle and Papa. Then later on the floor, they made everything up. They were games of pretend. January 12th, 22, Officer John stopped men at the door while those kids get tape stating. They made everything up. Right after Thanksgiving of 18, even John defended me on Thanksgiving 18 when I asked him what's going on. I don't know. I told Melissa, his ex-wife, that we were going to go through a divorce. I was going to be moving out and that she'd have the kids make up something, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. And then the church people make up something too, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. It's just because of the divorce and you're moving out. Went to Dave within a few days. He even defended me because I expected him to. I said, Dave, I've never hurt anyone. He's like, Karen, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids. You'd never hurt anyone. You're good to everyone, no matter who it is. After Thanksgiving of 18, the police and the FBI have a huddle in front of Walmart 62. Why are they having those kids make that shit up? Well, they're just trying to scare her out of the house. That's it. We interviewed her whole family. They spoke highly of her. That, and later on, Melissa's so stupid she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. Officer Mark, Melissa could go to jail for involving herself in this. I'd hate to arrest her. Her kids are little. Why don't we just write it up that her and the kids were showing off for Dave's new girlfriend? And it's wrote up as a documented mean games of pretend. Massillon Police, June or July of 21, told people that they're documenting games of pretend. May of 21, the Starr County Sheriff's at work my case. Some guy named Kurt just found out those kids are lying. He is slow. October 5th, 21, they were talking about that girl lying again. In Huntington Bank, I go to leave with my client. He's like, who's that crazy Melissa? They all talk about lying everywhere we go. Said the ex-daughter-in-law, friends with ex's girlfriend. Had the kids make up some mean games of pretend on Thanksgiving of 18. He's like, it's been years, and they're still talking about that girl lying everywhere we go. And the FBI several times of how sick it was. Here I am, risking my life to save everyone, and they were sitting around laughing, making everything up behind my back, and they should be ashamed. June 23rd to July 4th, 21. FBI agents are in there. They said, what are these people talking about? We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anyone. Same ones, March 23rd, 23. We told these people, stay out of this. We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. It was just some lady thought she could make money off of it. July 24th, 25, an investigator. The tape of Weird With Yourself, we always knew it was photoshopped to showering. I even did a body ratio. Wasn't even caring. They put her head on somebody else's body showering. July 25th, 25, Walmart 62. An investigator from 18 comes in where somebody in Bob Evans said something stupid and I blew up. Said, he walked in, he said, I told that couple never to say a word to her again. I interviewed John years ago. He said nothing bad ever happened to him. So did all of her kids. Well, they're supposed to have drugged her and told her to say, no, 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 no. August 4th, 25, they admitted to using hypnotic drugs on me. That's why I had a tongue-tied here a minute. August 4th, 25, they admitted to using hypnotic drugs on me. That's why I had a metal taste in my mouth and no memory. August 5th, 25, as if Agent John didn't know. They used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. That's why she has no memory of anything. She had that metal taste. He was telling people he knew she was being drugged, beaten, raped before the case started. He let him torture her. Is he some kind of coward? August 7th, 25. Walmart 62 investigators had those days. Of them admitting, again, to drugging me and telling me to say it before. And they even used what kind of drugs, and that I would have no memory. And calling Agent John a coward. They're trying to get his case thrown out against the cartel. Okay, they announced that afterwards. August, 30th or 31st or 25. Summit Mall, Macy's, upstairs. Guy answers the phone. It is documented and verified. They used hypnotic drugs when they drugged her and told her to say it before. She has no memory of these people. What they did to her before, nobody's allowed to say a word. And they're talking all over Macy's. September 27th, 25. They're up in Summit Mall. I heard people talking. That's the one. Her ex-husband's girlfriend's dad and his friends ran a big drug scam on. May 25th, 25. Hollister and Summit Mall. Teenagers were laughing about Bill from the Freemasons' big scam. Okay? Photoshopping, washing in the shower in another room and drugging somebody and telling them to say something. And ran a big scam here. Scammed everybody into helping out. Laughing about it. May 26, 25. Walmart 62. The cartel comes in, how they were tired of Bill from the Freemason and a scam of the dirty doctor not being one of hers. Works for them, and they had lied. He was one of hers, and the whole thing is a scam from him. May 26, 25. Walmart 62. May 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning, the Louisville police had them talking to some lady. And she thought I was stupid. And you find out who that lady is. That I didn't think she knew surveillance laws. I was going to trick her out of a bunch of money. Not that dumb lady. And said they found, the investigators found the original case. My ex-husband hired 2 men on his own. One said he's an attorney. So it made it legal. No, it didn't. And they found the tape of May 26, 25 in Walmart 62 of the cartel saying this whole thing's a scam from Bill from the Freemason, including the dirty doctor scam of taping her unaware, that it's just a scam from him. The officer said, it's a scam. The whole thing's a scam. There's a real case. She mentioned Bill from the Freemasons. Then how he didn't bother to look into anything. I thought, there's a real case. My car's really bugged. You need to shut up at this point. And she said her one friend, Lori, even knew who Henry Maffei was. He was here in town. And I didn't bother to check. I thought, shut up at this point. There's a real case. The FBI's listening. Shut up. Walk away and shut up. Well, I was out there confessing to all kinds of stuff. He better be hoping that he was playing that lady. Because it wasn't even funny. He said, I didn't even check. And they're supposed to have killed her family member. I thought, shut up. Somebody reports somebody's family was killed. And the people that were involved, they actually knew who they were. And the person don't know they are involved. And how to get a hold of them. And then where the Florida drug cartel was, he didn't look. And then even teenagers in town knew the Florida drug cartel was in Louisville. Talked about Judge Peters from Florida. They were telling everybody they were drug traders. Henry Maffei was with them. And I had a victim that lost a family member to him, and they had been laughing that they tied him up and cut him up in pieces, and that's how they killed him. He didn't check. He better have been playing that lady. If not, the FBI needs to address it with him. Because that's not even funny. Like they said, that officer could go to jail. Yeah. That's because that's not even funny. He better have been playing that lady. I'm going to upload that.